Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Edith. Thank you for agreeing to talk to me and the class about cross-cultural issues and the impact of culture on health. And if you could introduce yourself to the class, that would be great.
Hi, my name is Edith Guigma, and then I'm a graduate student here in the Master of Public Health program. And then this is my first year, and then my second semester at UNF.
Second semester at UNF. And where did you study before this?
I was studying at UF, where I got my bachelor there, but before that, I was in Tallahassee for 6 months.
Okay. And when did you first come to America?
I came in the US in October 2008.
2008. Okay. So you haven't been here that long, but your English is very, very good.
Thank you.
I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
And can you tell me a little bit about where you're from, where you were born?
I'm from Burkina Faso, which is in West Africa, and then I was born at in the capital, Ouagadougou. I don't know if you guys heard about what happened to my country last week.
Yeah, that was very sad. It was with which hotel? A big hotel with lots of foreigners.
Yeah. Yes.
That was really sad. So maybe we were talking earlier, and if you could share a little bit about your first experience coming to America, because I know myself when I went to Thailand my first time, and I knew I was going to be there for a long period of time, how scary it was, and how I went alone to Thailand, and the Thais were very, very welcoming and helpful, and they were just wonderful. And I've heard from other folks who've come to America that it's not as easy to come to America as a foreigner. So would you mind sharing your story?
Oh, I don't mind. It wasn't easy for me. When I left my country to come to the US, I went from my country to Morocco, and then from Morocco to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Tallahassee.
Wow, and so how long was that, like a 2-day flight?
It was a 2-day, yeah, it was a 2-day flight, and then it was maybe 18 hours, but since we have to stop and rest. And when I got to Tallahassee, what happened to me is I came to Tallahassee without my luggages. So when I arrived here, I went to get my luggages, and then I was waiting with everybody. Everybody took their luggages, and then I'm standing there, I don't see my luggages.
And you're here alone, so you came all alone to study in the United States. So everyone picked up their luggage at the airport, and your luggage never came, and you were all alone and didn't know what to do.
Yes, ma'am. I was all by myself, and then I left my family pretty young because I left them just before when I just finished high school, so I was pretty young.
So you were 19?
Yes, okay. I was 19, and then I never left my family. I'm my mom baby. I'm always around her, never went somewhere.
So it's your first time leaving Burkina Faso?
Yes, it's my first time leaving my country, leaving my mom.
Wow, oh my goodness. Okay.
So I got here, when everybody pick up the luggages, I'm where's mine? So I went, and then I saw a man, and then I asked him, I wasn't speaking English, so I went there, and then I asked him, I'm where are my luggages? He was telling me that my luggages were supposed to come maybe 2 days later.
2 days later, okay.
And then I'm standing there not understanding what he was telling me. And then the thing is, when I came here, my mom gave me a Visa card.
A Visa credit card?
Yes, a Visa credit card. And then I put the Visa credit card on my luggages.
So you packed your Visa card safely inside your luggage, and your luggage now is lost.
Yes, I did. I did that because we don't use credit card back home.
We don't use credit cards.
Only parents use it. So I was maybe I wouldn't need it when I would come here.
Okay.
I only have $60 on me for the taxi. Yes.
For the taxi from the airport to school.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So the guy called a car for me, and then I had the address on the paper. So I gave the address to the taxi, and then he took me to the motel. When I got there, I asked the guy if I can call my family. He was like, yes, go ahead, you can call them. But I didn't know it was going to cost me too much.
So you made an international call,
Yes,
not
ma'am.
realizing that it was going to be exceedingly expensive to
Yes.
call Africa
Yes,
to
I
speak
didn't
with your
know.
family.
So I'm calling my mom, crying that I came here without my luggages. She was like, she panicked. She's like, "What do you want me to do? It's not like it's like a few hours away where I can come and then rescue you or do something for you." And then when I was crying, I was like, "I just want to come back home."
You wanted to go home.
Yeah.
So horrendous.
So I spent like maybe 3 days. I didn't have I couldn't eat, and then she
You
was
couldn't
like,
eat. You had no water and no food.
Yes,
For 3 days.
she was like, "Why don't you go and then ask the men at the motel if they can use the card because they had the card information
Okay.
to get me food." And then I went there. I asked the guy again, "Can I have some food or something to eat?" But he didn't understand me. He responded, I didn't understand him too.
Oh no. So you have no food. You have no water. Your
I
mother
had
said
water.
speak to them. You had water.
Yes.
Okay. The hotel folks didn't know how to help you because they couldn't understand you. So
Yes,
then what did you do next?
What I did, I called one of my friends who was living in Gainesville,
In
Florida.
Gainesville. Okay, so you had a friend from home
Yes.
who was living in Gainesville. Okay.
When I called him, he gave the phone to his cousin, and then I was talking to the cousin. I was talking to him, crying. I'm talking to everybody and crying.
Crying.
He was like, "Oh, I know someone in Tallahassee, but I'm not sure if the person is still there."
Okay, so a friend from Burkina Faso who lived in Tallahassee, but not sure if that person's still there.
Yes.
Okay.
So he called the person, and then luckily for me, he was still there.
He was still there. Good.
So he gave the hotel number to the guy in Tallahassee. The guy called me in the hotel, and then he was like, when he called me, I'm like crying. He's like, "Oh no." He was at work, but since he was like so worried for me, he talked to me until he finished work, and then he come.
Oh, that's so he stayed with you on the phone the whole day.
The whole day.
Job.
Yes,
And then did he come get you?
Yes, he came and then got me around 7 p.m. I think.
Oh my goodness.
And then when he came, he picked me up, and then we went to the to Golden Corral. That was my first
Golden
time.
Corral, your first time for food in almost, what, 4 days now?
Yes.
Wow. Oh my goodness, that's such an experience. Wow. Oh, well, I'm glad that you got here. I hear a similar experience from so many people who come to America, and especially to come so young as a 19-year-old, to come alone without anybody. It's challenging. And I know when I went to Thailand and I was alone, and I didn't know where anything was, and I couldn't find the taxis, and I tried to speak Thai, and I could not speak Thai because I'd never had any Thai training, but I tried to speak with my phrase book. Everyone tried to help me. Everyone wanted to help me. Everyone was giving me food. Everyone was giving me bottled water. They were so generous. But I know when foreigners come to America, it's not the same. It's a very different experience. So thank you for sharing your experience.
You're welcome.
So I asked Edith to talk a little bit about her culture and maybe some of the challenges or some of the difference between her culture, Burkina Faso, and American culture. So what were your first experience? What were the biggest differences?
The first time when I saw, I was shocked by
You were
the
in
culture.
culture shock.
Yes, I
It's
was
so
shocked.
different.
Yes, it's
Okay.
very different. What I noticed is like American people are more open-minded.
American people are more open-minded. Okay,
Yes, and we are not.
you're not. Okay.
And then everybody's like, this is a freedom country, if I
Okay.
can say that. But
Okay.
back home is very different.
Okay.
And then I saw that like everybody have access to internet, and then
Everyone has a computer and access to the internet on their phones, and everyone's on the internet.
yes, which is not the case back home, because maybe when I left, maybe 1 in 20 families had computer.
1 in 20 families had a computer.
Had a computer at their house.
Okay, and you were in the city, right?
I was in the city.
Okay. What about on their phones? Do they have phones or no?
They didn't have smartphone. Only maybe
Just regular cell phone?
Few people had smartphone. Not
Okay.
a lot of people had smartphone.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so that's a big difference. So communication is different.
Communication was very
What about
different.
TVs? Do most people have a television?
Most in the city, yes, most people have television, but in the villages, I don't think so.
Okay, not as much so as the villages. Okay. What else is different?
Differences that I saw here is like when I first got here, when I'm talking to someone, I don't look at the person. I don't do eye contact.
You don't have eye contact.
Yes.
Okay.
Back home, we are taught at a young age when you're talking to an elder, you're not supposed to look at the person because it's like it's not respectful.
Very right. Okay.
But here, when I came here and then they're talking to me, I'm not looking at the person. They're telling me that it's disrespectful.
So you tend to what? Look at the ground, or
I tend to not look at the person. Maybe look at the ground or look
everywhere else, but not in their eyes.
Yes, not do
because you're being respectful to that person.
Yes.
And the American elder, whomever that may be, feels that you're being disrespectful to them because you're not looking at them.
Yes.
So that's a big issue. Okay. What about greeting? What about when people greet in America?
Oh, yeah. And then when I came here, I used to use my hand and do the 2 kisses.
2 kisses on each cheek?
But they were like, oh, what is she doing?
They're like, why are you kissing me? Okay, that's a big difference.
They hug here.
They hug here. Everyone hugs in America. Do they hug at home?
We don't hug.
You don't hug. Okay, but you handshake.
We handshake.
You do handshake. And the 2 kisses. Okay, interesting. Okay, and what else?
And also gender.
Okay, gender roles.
Gender roles. Women here are idolized, if I can say that. Even though back home we have emancipation, men still think that the role of the woman is in the house.
Okay, so women should stay home for the housework and
take care of the children.
And
then one thing that I noticed here is like the man has a role with the child.
Okay.
They do take care of the children, and then they play with them. They like clean them. They do everything with them. They do things that a woman would do with a child. But back home, it's not. The men will not do that. It's like they see it as being weak for a man to do that.
Okay, so for a man to bathe their child or really take care of the child, that's seen as more of a weak stereotype.
Yes, it is weak for a man to do that. The man is supposed to be the provider.
The provider, got it.
Bring money at home. That's it. Yes.
Okay.
Bring money, and then the woman is supposed to educate the child. Like, let's say, for example, you have a child, and then the child doesn't succeed in life.
Okay.
One thing that we say that it's the woman child, but when the child succeeds, it's the man child.
Oh, interesting. So if the child does well, he's called she called it a man child. But if the woman does, if the girl doesn't, if the child doesn't, it's a woman child.
Yeah, it's that's not my child. That's a child of her mom.
It's her mother's child. She's going to take after me because I'm a strong man. Interesting. Okay. What else?
And one thing I noticed here, people tend to cry for no reason.
People cry in America?
Yes. They are very emotional.
Very emotional. Okay.
Like, even when I got here, I cried because it was like beyond my power. I couldn't do it, but after I got used to things, when I miss my family, I cry by myself in my room.
In private.
In private. We don't cry in front of people.
Okay.
It's even women. I don't know. It's like we only cry maybe when somebody died. When
someone dies.
When it's very hard, like when you are very hurt and you can't show. You have to express your feeling that way. But here it's like, for any type of reason, people cry. They are very emotional, which is not the case. Even men, I never see my dad cry.
You've never seen your dad cry?
For 20 many years, I never see him cry.
Never seen him cry. That's interesting.
Never.
Wow.
Even my brothers, I never seen a man from Africa cry.
Really?
Never.
Never seen a man in public from Africa cry?
Yes. Maybe they do cry, but maybe
in private.
Yeah, right. I never see. It's like, if you cry, it's like you are weak.
Right.
They think that you are weak.
Okay. Interesting. What about women crying in public? Never.
I do see women cry in public, but it's more about when
death or something.
Death.
Okay.
Even if you have issue in your marriage, people tend not to go and expose the issue. They don't talk about it.
They keep it all private.
They keep it inside them.
Okay.
It's like, even my mom, I don't think I saw my mom cry one day in her life. It's
wow. Okay. It's interesting. Okay. What else do you think?
And respect back home is very, very important. You have to respect. Like, you have to give respect to everybody. Starting from the young people to the elder, especially the elder, you have to respect.
Respect your elders, very important.
it is like it's impolite to like for back home people think that elders are always right. They are never wrong.
Okay.
So if they tell you something and then you know deep down maybe that it's not the solution or something, you don't have to tell the person, oh no, it's not right.
Okay.
You have to let them talk, finish, and then once they're done talking, maybe you can reply, but you never tell the elder that no, you're wrong.
Okay, that's interesting because in America, right, we do. We say absolutely not. That is incorrect. That's good. That's good. Let me ask you a question about healthcare. I know we didn't talk about this, but what is healthcare like in Burkina Faso?
Most people don't go to see.
You don't go to doctors on a regular basis?
Most people don't, because it's very easy to like buy medication.
Buy medicine at like a store or something?
It's not like, it's easy for people to get a prescribed medication. Like here, you have to go to a doctor, make an appointment.
Okay.
Right. Back home, it's not like that.
Okay.
You can have medication easily.
Okay.
Like people don't, especially men, they don't go see doctors. That's maybe why a lot of men die earlier than women.
That's interesting. Okay, so men don't go see doctors. They tend not to.
They
Okay.
tend not to.
Okay.
Go see doctor. And then far down, like in the villages, I don't think a lot of people go see doctors because
Okay.
I don't think they have like access to healthcare.
Exactly. I don't have that. So are there traditional healers at home that they can access locally?
We do have traditional healers, and then people believe like drinking plants,
Like herbal medicines?
herbal medicine.
Perfect.
They think it's more healthier than
Than the Western medicine
Yes.
or okay. Good. And where are there are big hospitals, but far away.
At the time, we only have like one public. In Ouagadougou, we have only one public hospital, and then maybe 3 or 4 private hospitals.
Okay.
There's not a lot of hospitals back home.
Okay. Got it. Okay, interesting. Good. Wow. Anything else that you might notice that?
And one thing I noticed back home is that we do not follow time. It's like
Oh, that's always a big one. Okay, time. Because in America, you do not ever want to be late. If you say you're going to be there, you better be there.
yes, but back home is like if I tell you I'll be there at 11, give me 2 hours. It means I'm coming at 1 p.m.
Okay, and it's okay. That's just expected, and
It is okay.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people like when they have to meet someone.
right.
It's very like the person doesn't understand why I'm telling, especially like people coming from other places
Yes.
in my country when they want to meet someone, they don't understand why I'm giving you, like I'm telling you, meet me here at 10 and then you're coming at 12 thinking that it's okay. Not even an excuse. I'm sorry I was late because of that. There's no excuse. They're just
Okay.
coming and then
You just come and hi, how are you? And what would the person waiting do? Just relax and
So, like, if you're not used to, you will leave. Because usually being late is like maybe 5 to 15 minutes. You are late, I'm done, I'm leaving.
okay.
But if you get used to, you will wait for the person.
Okay, you'll wait. Okay, good. Yeah, that's something. The same thing in Thailand. It's called Thai time, where everyone comes late. And it's okay because they say there's something going. "ไม่เป็นไร," which means it's not a big deal. It's okay. Relax. They say "Jai Yan Yan," which means relax your heart. Just calm down. It's okay. You know, it's not a big deal. But I love that. I love Thai time.
And people, one thing I noticed is like people back home are very judgmental.
Judgmental. Okay.
It's like when I went there in 2013, I couldn't wear a short skirt
Couldn't wear short skirts.
or something short.
Okay.
Because if you do, they might like beat you up on the road.
Oh, really?
Yes,
They beat you up for being indecent, improperly dressed.
Yes,
Okay.
and they always think that even like getting a nose ring, like
A nose ring or
it's
something.
like, it's
Right.
bad for them. They think that it's like it's bad for them.
Okay. Okay. And they get very upset by that.
And then we tend to like be very helpful to other people. We help them because we believe that karma is like you have to do good in order to receive good.
Okay, karma. So right, you have to do good to receive good. So karma is very important in culture.
If you do bad, something bad will happen to you. So
Okay.
you have to do good.
Okay.
And then we have so many superstitions. Like if your left eye, I believe if your left eye is blinking, it means that you're going to see someone that you haven't like
seen in a long time. So if your eye is
time.
blinking a little bit, it means you'll see an old acquaintance you haven't seen in a while.
Or maybe if your I think it's left or right, left foot is like itching at the bottom, it means that you're going to travel or something.
You're going to travel if your foot's itching. Okay, interesting. That's neat. That's fun. Oh, good. That's great. Well, thank you, Edith. I loved your stories. I hope everyone in the class enjoyed listening to Edith share a little bit about her home back in Burkina Faso and how different it is from culture here. But it's great. I mean, I love different cultures and I love learning about them because it makes you think more about your own culture. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.